Now, I'll be completely honest, I thought the developers forgot. Well, not really forget, but I thought they were only going to be catering a certain something for, like, influencers, etc., right? And the thing that I'm talking about is tournaments, the championship, solo leveling arise, all that shenanigans. They were obviously advertising it when it came to the first ever roadmap, and well, they initially did it with a bunch of influencers, and it basically just was a very simple time attack. I mean, there's no online play, well, there's no multiplayer to this game, so in terms of what the game has to offer, it realistically has to be like an even playing field in terms of builds, and then from that, the influencers, the players, then go ahead to fight the boss and get the best time, and whoever has the best time pretty much wins. And going forward, when I guess the tournament was going to be opening up for the whole player base, I was eager to see on how that's going to work. Now, obviously, we're in June, going into August, and content is rolling out. We've got celebration times coming in. We've got the Festival Rise happening. It really did kind of slip my mind onto, yeah, I think they've completely potentially scrapped it. So yeah, the last time we kind of saw anything like it was this national level hunter where, I mean, they had a bunch of influencers. I mean, there was a big cash prize too. 20k. I mean, we could have done with that, and then of course for us, depending on who we cheered, we had a chance to win gold and a multi, and of course, depending on who you voted for, you would have gotten your beautiful rewards. I did vote for Box, so that's slightly upsetting, came second place. But anyway, regardless, this is kind of like the only other time that we really saw any type of tournaments happening. And again, as you guys can see, for furthermore proof, it really just was a bit of a time attack, but exactly like the Battlefield of Trials, as you guys can see. So just picking the, I mean, yeah, I mean, fair enough, the longsword is a bit of an option. I mean, obviously the game was fresh and new, and so realistically we were all still trying to break down on what the better weapon was, and people were just using whatever, so kind of perfect timing to actually do this type of tournament. Obviously now it will be kind of, I don't know how they would actually make it fair now, to be honest, even if they did kind of open it up to the whole player base. But the reason why I am mentioning all of this, the reason why we are here right now talking about this, just before I get ahead of myself, so this was the old roadmap. Now if you look at the old roadmap, right at the bottom, there is a consistency of solo leveling championship tournaments that they wanted to do. It will start in June, of course, which yeah, clearly I mean, for whatever reason, they decided not to go along with it, of course. And then if you look at the current roadmap that we have, in no way does it talk about any type of championship tournaments, which is unfortunate, because I was kind of low-key looking forward to it, of course. Now, obviously, with them kind of forgetting about it and whatnot, it seems that they haven't forgotten about it. Yeah. So the announcement has gone up. Well, it went up around about like 13-14 hours ago, but yeah, the announcement is up. Solo Leveling Arise Championship, it is happening. They've pre-announced it. We're waiting on details on what's the requirement, etc., of course. Now, the unfortunate thing about all of this is that it was only announced for the Korean version. Yes. So the Koreans' first official competition will be held in the summer of 2024. The competition schedule and details will be announced later. Now, obviously, when it comes to social media and Solo Leveling Arise, typically they are on point in terms of communicating the same post for all social media, depending on no matter what the language is, of course. So I went onto the JP one thinking, oh, maybe they've announced it for the JP, because I mean, I'll hop onto the JP one. I've got no problem doing that. But nope, nothing here, nothing here. Then I went onto the global version. Nope, nothing here. I even went onto the forum pages, the Facebook pages, the Instagrams, the TikToks, all their other social media, and the Korean version only has the tournament posts, which obviously, if you are a Solo Leveling Arise player and you are playing the Korean version, then congratulations, you have a chance to get yourself into a tournament and hopefully do well get some good rewards, etc. But unfortunately for everyone else, nothing has been said. It's a bit of a gap in terms of posting, so that's why I'm slightly nervous on us not getting it. But I'm hoping that's not the case, and they're just kind of setting up a few things behind the scenes so that, the the announcement is done in a proper way without any type of issues. I don't know. I'm literally grasping at straws here and hoping that we actually get some sort of chat, because I was genuinely looking forward to this. But clearly, by doing some sort of tournament things, it has to be fair. It has to be fair to give everyone a fighting chance. So it'll be interesting to see on how they go about doing it, unless they're doing the first tournament being the Korean version as a little beta testing to see how it is, and then obviously we get ours at a later time. But long story short, Solo Leveling Arise Championship tournaments are a thing. Whether it comes out globally, we'll have to wait and see, but for right now, only the Korean version has it going on. Now I'm just going to throw this in here. I'm not going to lie, in terms of with my way of how I feel about multiplayer, the one thing which I've specified from the very beginning with Solo Leveling Arise is that I don't want competitive like PvP 1v1. I'm not interested in that. If anything, if we ever get multiplayer for Solo Leveling Arise, I've always specified that I want it in a raid form, to where me and a few others, we can go into a boss raid, and obviously it kind of being, let's say the boss is kind of like how it's playing out with the Vulcan, with how they've done it with the Workshop of Brilliant Light, in terms of the boss itself being tough, having various movesets, etc., of course different phases. That's kind of what I want in terms of a multiplayer aspect. However, looking at it from a championship tournament style, I think that is kind of like the only time which I would actually be like, you know what, yeah, PvP doesn't sound that much of a bad idea. So that's kind of like the only time where I would actually compromise. But pretty much it's going to be exactly like Battlefield. This is basically the tournament. This is basically the championship tournament. Obviously they'll do what they need to do to kind of make it even for the players, I assume, unless it's just like, you know what, have at it. Then by all means it's really going to be catering to the whales, but hopefully they do play, or they do put some sort of fairness so that it gives everyone a fighting chance, so that it's more for skills and not for opening up your wallet, right? Let's be honest, right? Yeah. So there's that. But pretty much, yeah, it is going to be playing as it has been throughout season 1, season 2, moving over to season 3, just getting a good time, and that is pretty much going to be the tournament. I'm not sure how fun they'll make it, because if that is the case for, like, I don't know, it would get somewhat kind of boring, to be fair. So I'm hoping that they kind of make it some interesting in some way. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on what more details releases for it. But yeah, boys. Well, only time will tell on whether or not if Global gets any type of love in a tournament championship format, unless it might be left towards us, the content creators, to try and figure out doing a tournament, I guess, community-wise.